When I think of Josh, I think of how smart he is and how talented he is. I think of aviation. He loves FIFA and Red Velvet Oreos. I think of how he has acquired a Southern accent since we started dating. It was not there when we first started dating. I think about how he owns all the Marvel movies, even though he doesn't like watching movies after he's seen one.
When I think of Josh, I think of stall landing.
I think of pictures of Bambi.
Lots of laughter.
An entertaining guy to fly with. And all around, I'd say he's a
Decent
good guy.
person. Yeah, he's decent.
So.
Hey, when I think of Josh, I think of good old-fashioned Southern barbecue. Don't enjoy because it's super cheap. Also, double I stuff and hanging out, you spend a lot of money for no reason. And I'll sign you off if you ever want it. Just let me know. You know how to call me.
When I think of Josh, I think of someone who's always pushing me to be my best.
When I think of Josh, I think of all the times as a kid that you would take time to play with me, even if your friends were over or you were doing something else. You were never too busy for your little sister. And whether that was watching TV with me or just taking time to include me in what you and your friends were doing, I really appreciated that. And even as we've grown up too, you've still done that, whether it's sitting and watching TV with me for hours or taking me to a soccer game. You just make me feel like you're never too busy for me, and even by stopping in when I'm in town, so thank you for that.
When I think of Josh, I think of him as the best guy I've ever met. And I think he takes care of all of us very well. And he's never stopped loving us as well. And I think he's the best guy or dude I've ever met.
I think of how being scared in the shower, being scared when he comes in and screams at a very high volume. Thank you, honey. I think about how detailed he is over things that he loves. And he just will dive right into anything that he absolutely cares about or is excited about. He's very detailed. I think about how we met and how next year we'll have known each other for 10 years, which is crazy, but awesome. I think about his hilarious reactions when playing board games with other people. He gets so involved, and his commentary just, I wish we record everything that we play. It's too funny. I think about how he absolutely loves his family deeply and will do anything for any member of his family. I think about quiet mornings, having breakfast together on the couch, because he refused to sit in the chairs that we had because he thought he would break them, so we couldn't have any meal at our kitchen table for the longest time. But now we have chairs.
And also when I think of Josh, I think he serves his wife very well.
And I also think of the time when we were in Chadwick and you made me eat mud off of a stick because you told me it was soup. Mom told me not to mention that one, but of course that's also what I think of when I think of you. So
when I think of Josh, I think of a guy that's fun, energetic, fun to be around. But most of all, I'm very thankful and very blessed that he's part of our family. And I can't wait to spend many years with him in our family. But most of all, Josh brings joy. He's just a great guy. Love to be around him.
Hey, so I just want to wish my favorite first nephew a very happy quarter century birthday. When I think of Josh, I think of somebody who throws himself into everything, whether it was soccer or whether it was guitar and now flying. He just throws himself into everything, and he puts his whole heart into it. And so that's one thing that I think of Josh. I also think of generosity, because every time we came to stay, we always stayed in his room, and he always gave us his room up for us. And he helped Jonathan with his music and his guitar and everything. So
when I think of Josh, one of the first memories I have of meeting him, he was probably about 2 years old, and Tim and I were playing with him in the backyard with a ball and saying headbutt, headbutt. And somehow he mixed it up and started calling everybody butthead, butthead for the rest of the day. So that was fun. Good influence from Uncle Tim and Aunt Susan. He redeemed himself a few years later in our wedding. He was one of our cute little ring bearers in a tuxedo, and did a great job with that. So I remember him for that as well. I also remember Josh, anytime I would watch Kentucky basketball at their house, he would give me a hard time cheering against Kentucky and for the other team and saying that the refs were cheating, and drove me crazy, made it utterly miserable for me to watch a basketball game around him. And I also think of him as anytime there's anything soccer going on, he's probably involved in watching and playing. And I just think he's confused about something. I think of these as soccer cleats, right? He calls them boots. Sweetie, I love you, but you're 25 years old now. You need to know. These are boots.
When I think of Josh, that's always happens. Josh, you have been keeping me very well entertained for what, a couple of decades now? And that's a really good thing. It really is. That doesn't mean I think you're a joke. I just think you're super entertaining. I'm so thankful to have had kind of a front row seat in your life for all these years. You have been such an awesome friend to Joel, and that means that you are an answer to this mama's prayers for her kids to have great friends. I am also so proud of you to see the way that you have stuck with your goal of becoming a pilot, and now you've achieved that. That's so awesome. I just think that you have a great case of phenomena, and I hope you never get over it.
Hey Josh, when I think of you, I think of our friendship and what it means to me. I think of you as a brother. You and me have known each other for a very long time, even since we were small. You're a great friend, and I hope you have a great birthday.
Hi Josh, this is your Aunt Jackie, and I wanted to wish you a very happy 25th birthday. When I think of you, I think of a little boy who was very happy. Somebody who had that mischievous smile. Sometimes we would go feeding ducks, sometimes we would play Barbies, sometimes we would do synchronized swimming. Always we had a great time with conversations when you would call us. And of course, when we would get to go visit you in Georgia, we had lots of fun. Everything from playing in the sprinklers, to riding bikes together, to telling goodnight stories, and having fun in the tent. When I think of Josh, I think of a dedicated, serious fella. Everything from fishing, to putting his all and opening his Christmas gifts, which included lots and lots and lots of Legos. So Josh, thank you for being a terrific fella. One of our most favorite times together that Grandma and Grandpa and I will always enjoy is when you came for your 12th birthday visit to spend the summer going to the Smithsonian, and this is when we ate at the Outback. So on your next adventure in life, I wish you all the best, that God would be with you, and congratulations on becoming a first officer.
Congratulations, Josh, for 25 years. 25 years, I'm told it's been. I can remember when you were just a little guy, and you always had seemed to be oriented toward transportation. You know, we bought you a present, but you were more interested in me putting you in the box and pulling you around the room in a box. And then you got a little bit older. And when you were older, you became an engineer. Now, not the kind, you know, that builds bridges. But I got this cap. Remember the cap that you used to wear when you were the engineer for the HO train set that we made together. Of course, then you had a love affair with sports cars when you got to be a teenager. And that kind of took the place of the train. So we moved from a box to a train to then a sports car. And now you're flying a plane. I was wondering the other night, what's it going to be when you're in middle age? Maybe you'll be flying tours to the moon. I don't know.
When I think about Josh and your birthday, I think about the thrill that I had when I realized that I was going to become a grandmother. No, not a grandmother. I'm a nana. You were born in Germany, so it took a whole month before we could come to see you, and that was killing me. Another thing that I think about when I think about Josh, not another thing, but another person, is Samantha. I can hardly think about you without her. You know, you're pretty lucky, Josh. She's a pretty nice girl. And we are all thankful that the Lord brought you together. Going to your wedding was one of the happiest days of my life. And another thing that I think of is whenever we came to your house, when you were upstairs playing with your Legos or watching TV or whatever it was, when you knew we were ready to leave, you came running down those stairs to come over to us and to give us a big hug and to tell us you loved us. I love you too, Josh.
When I think of Josh, I think of all the wonderful times we had when he was a little boy, playing, just doing all kinds of things together, and all the wonderful memories. Thank you, Josh, for that. And all the joy you brought to us.
Hi Josh, this is Auntie again. And I wanted to send you birthday wishes from someone who, if he were here, would be very, very proud of you and I'm sure very excited to wish you a happy birthday. That someone grew up in a small farm in Kansas, milking cows before he went to school each day. Also wanting to make his parents very proud, and he wanted to become a pilot. But he told us that he grew too fast growing up and his lung collapsed a couple times, and so he became an airline agent instead. He worked for Braniff International for over 20 years. They went bankrupt, and then he worked for Piedmont and then US Air, and he retired after about 40 years, but not before passing along his legacy, and that would be to someone else you know very well. Someone that fulfilled his dream that he couldn't do, which was become a pilot. And this someone then passed on that love to you, so that now we have a third generation Ekstrom embarking on that same adventure. And I know that if Grandpa Ekstrom were here today, he'd be very proud of the man you've become. And I know that he's passed along everything from his love of being a cowboy to just simply spending time with his family. So from Grandpa Ekstrom, happy birthday, Josh. Remember, I love you, and I'm always proud of you.
Well, hey Josh, happy birthday. It's your dad. So what kind of things do I think of you? When I think of Josh, I think of Legos. Lots of Legos. I think of Pokemon cards. lots and lots of Pokemon cards. I think of soccer practice at base, going to Taco Bell, and then across the street to the Food Mart and getting cupcakes. I think of going to the Museum of Aviation and flying missions in the back of the F4 simulator or the F4 cockpit. I think of a lime green number 8 soccer jersey and just a passion for soccer and playing on the Vipers, and a great job that you did as the captain of the team, especially that first year. Think of a white Honda minivan and a blue Subaru Legacy driving up Interstate 85 to Lynchburg. I think of just a lot of good trips there at Liberty University with you and staying in Lynchburg, sleeping on your floor in the apartment. I think of a lot of night cross-country flying in South Georgia and Middle Georgia and Eufaula, Alabama to try to get you some time for Air Choice One. And I think of a really awesome trip in an orange and white airplane across the country. I think of a young man who took a young woman to be his wife, and to be responsible for 2 people at a very young age is just an honorable thing to do. Those are a lot of the things I think of when I think of Josh, but I also think of things in the future and the opportunities that you have and that you're creating for yourself and for Samantha in your life together.
Did I scare you? I'm sorry. That is just so much fun. Happy birthday, Josh. When I think of Josh, oh my goodness, there's so many things I think of, from Fluffy to Star Wars and Pokemon and soccer and so many things that have been so important to you through the years. But if I have to just pick one and tell you what I think of when I think of Josh, it would be your very tender heart. Now your siblings are probably gonna watch this and wonder who on earth I'm talking about, because maybe they're not always the recipient of that, but I see it, and that's what I think of when I think of you. I can think of a million examples, but I remember the time that you guys went on the deep sea fishing trip, and before you left, you wanted to mount your fish that you caught, and you were so excited. But when you caught that first fish and you saw it trying to breathe in the bucket, you just couldn't stand it anymore and threw it back in and made Dad and Jake throw everything back in for the rest of the trip. And remember the fair, when you won the goldfish at the fair and it only survived a few hours, and by the time you woke up in the morning, it had passed away, and you were just devastated. And it was amazing to me that a little boy could have so much love for something that he had just gotten. And a little bit later on, it came my birthday time, and you spent every penny of money you had and every penny of money you could earn to buy gift cards for me from Bed Bath & Beyond. Or no, I'm sorry, to Bath & Body Works, because you knew how much I liked all that good smelly stuff. And you did the same with Dad just recently, before you and Sam were married. You spent money that I know was not extra, and it was a huge sacrifice on your part to buy your dad a really special gift that you knew would mean a lot to him. And I'll just end most recently, just within the last few weeks, there was a pair of tennis shoes that I know you would have loved to have had, but you texted me and asked me to drive up to Atlanta and get them for your sister, because you knew that they really, really, really meant a lot to her. So underneath that rough exterior that most everybody sees, I know that under there is a super tender heart, and that's what I think of when I think of you.
Ultimately, to me, what sums up Josh when I think of him is the word grace and patience. Marriage takes a lot of that, and he shows that every day. He's very gracious, but he also has a humongous servant's heart, and he shows his love of the Lord through that.
Happy birthday, Josh.
Happy birthday, Josh.
Happy birthday!
Happy birthday, buddy.
Happy birthday. I hope I can be home to celebrate with you, but if not, I love you and I hope you have a great day.
And happy birthday, Josh. I hope you have a good time at your birthday.
And I hope you have a happy birthday, Josh.
Just wanted to say happy 25, happy quarter century to you, Josh, and hope you have a great year.
I love you, Josh. Happy birthday.
Love you, son. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, man.
Happy 25th birthday. I love you, Josh.
But I hope you have a happy birthday. We wish the best for you. Lord bless you.
Happy birthday, Josh. 25th birthday. Wow. Where did all those years go?
And happy 25th birthday, Josh. I love you.
And I just want you to know I'm proud of you. I love you. Happy birthday. And I'm blessed to be your dad.
So I hope you have a wonderful birthday, Josh. I love you so much, and I'm so proud of the man you've become and the man you're continuing to be. Happy birthday, buddy.
Josh is somebody I can't imagine doing any season of life without. And I hope that you have a happy birthday. Happy 25th.